Hello there, this is Charles, and we are about to start Chapter 3 of Out of Time. In Chapter 2, Dr. Zelensky told his friend while fishing in a boat that he had indeed developed a working time machine and had tested it. And they go back and he shows him proof of that, and they find out that a couple of them were stolen. The next chapter, we will find out who stole them, find out what their plans are, and we will meet our heroes. So, without further ado, Chapter 3 coming up. Chapter 3 2 days later, near Harrison, Ohio. Earl Grant arrived home from church around 12:30, changed into some more casual clothes, which meant swapping khakis for jeans, and collapsed into his recliner. He was scrolling through the channels trying to decide whether to watch the NASCAR race or football. After considering the way the Bengals were playing this year, NASCAR won out. The race wasn't due to start for a bit, so he went to the kitchen to grab a beer and see what leftovers he had in the fridge. As he was walking toward the kitchen, there was a knock at the door and he yelled, "Hey, you, Clyde? Just come in, it ain't locked." "Hey, buddy, you skedaddled out of church before I could catch you. Want to go to B-Dubs?" "I don't know. Could just chill here and watch the race." "B-Dubs will have the race and the game on. We can watch both." "You really want to watch both, the way the Bengals are this year?" "Good point. Think I just wanted some wings." "Got some in the fridge. Could throw them on the grill and be eaten by the time the race starts. Got plenty of beer too. No need to go out." "Dude, you love to go to B-Dubs. What gives?" "Just didn't feel like going out." "Earl, buddy, that's not like you. You not feeling well?" "I'm feeling fine. Went to our hunting spot yesterday." "You set everything up?" "Set up the tree stands, put some corn out, and set up the camera." "Camera? I see a buck. I'm going to shoot him, not take his picture." "Not that. Look at this," Earl said as he opened an outdoor magazine and showed his friend a picture. "Went down to Bass Pro and got one of these." "Looks fancy. What's it do?" "You see the camo? Blends in with the tree bark so the deer don't see it. Knows when anything big is walking by and starts taking pictures. Tells you on your phone when something's there. Then you can open this app and control it. You can take video or record audio." "That's cool. Why do you need it?" "Might show us which way the deer walk by. Make it easier when we're there to know which way to look." "And you want to sit here and wait for critters to walk by, see if it works, right?" "Yep. Grill some wings, have a beer, and see what we can see." "Okay, why you need to record audio? Deer ain't gonna talk to you." "Well, dude at the store said it was a handy feature." "Whatever. You said you had beer?" "Plenty in the fridge. Help yourself." "Think I'll do just that." Earl came to the living room a few minutes later with a pile of chicken wings fresh from the grill, a bottle of hot sauce, and more beer. "Dinner is served," he said with an exaggerated bow. "My compliments to the chef." "Looks like the race has started." "Only on the second lap, ain't missed much yet. Who you pulling for?" "Don't much care with Junior not running." "I'm with you. Maybe like to see Bush win." "Why's that? Didn't think you were a fan." "I don't know. Don't much care, really." "How about Danica?" "Oh, hell no." "What you got against her?" "She's kinda hot." "Dude, you ain't right. I don't follow drivers for their looks. Ain't about to start now." "Whatever. I just said she's kinda hot." "Not gonna argue that. She's not my type anyway." "What is your type? Marlene?" "Forget about her already. She's done and married another dude. Nothing you can do about that." "Don't know what she sees in that skinny—" "Hey, what was that sound?" "Camera's got something. Let's take a look." Earl opened the app on his phone and saw the video feed from the camera. Instead of a deer, there were two middle-aged men in khakis and polo shirts standing about 20 feet away. He tapped the screen a couple times and the camera started recording video and audio. Are you sure we had to come out here in the woods for this? Richard asked his brother. You don't want anyone listening in on us, do you? Alan replied. You probably have a point. Not with what we're discussing anyway. You have the devices in that bag? Everything's right here, he said as he handed one to his brother. You just put it around your waist and fasten it like this. Then what do? Flip this toggle? Yeah, flip the toggle and that display in the middle will light up. You can flip it up to see it easier. Richard flipped the display up and switched the toggle and the display came to life, showing columns for month, date, year, and time of day. So you just scroll each of these to select the day and then what? He asked. Then you hit the button on the side. You have to hold it down a couple seconds for the generator to charge up. How do you know all this? Have you used it yet? No, but the old man explained it all to his fishing buddy in the boat the other day. You mean the idiot told his friend how it works and you listened in on the whole conversation? Pretty much. So that means we can try it out without having to interrogate the professor to learn how to use it. What do you say we give it a go? Sure, where should we go? Can we really go anywhere? The old man said you can only go back in the spot you're in, no change in locations. Then when you're back there, you can't set more dates. You have to hit the button and come back to where you started. Well, let's give it a try. Let's go back, say, 10 years or so, just to make sure it works. They each turned their machines on, set a date 10 years in the past, and pushed the buttons. There was a slight humming noise. They felt a tingling like their entire bodies were falling asleep, and with a small flash of light visible to anyone who would have been observing, they were gone. The tingling sensation lingered for a few seconds more, and for a minute they were unaware anything had happened, since they were standing in the same spot. That felt weird. You sure it worked? Alan asked. Sure feels colder. It's not the same day, definitely. Actually, it's a lot colder. And look at the trees. Alan looked around and the surrounding trees were shorter, and there were trees that weren't there before. Wow, I think it worked. Any other way we can verify it? How far was the nearest town? There was that gas station a couple miles up the road. You think it's there? Can't see why not. It looked older than 10 years when we passed. They walked the 2 miles to the gas station and found it there where it was when they drove past, only with a different sign out front and lower prices displayed for gas. They went in and looked at the newspaper racks, picked up the current paper, and saw the date at the top, October 23rd, 2006. Well, I'll be... Help you with something? Asked the clerk behind the counter. Just stopped in for a drink, Richard said as he went to the cooler and took out 2 soft drinks. He looked in his wallet, saw only bills newer than 2006, and asked his brother, You got any cash? Alan pulled out a $5 bill that was old enough and paid for their purchase. When they stepped outside, he said, Seems it works. Now, where do we park the car? It's not going to be there, dummy. I know that, just thought if we... Oh, never mind. We left things in the woods anyway, so much for that idea. They walked back where they had started and pushed the buttons, and once again there was the hum, the tingling sensation, the flash of light, and they were back where they had started, or more precisely, when they had started. What the hell? Earl said. Is that camera broke? Did they just up and vanish? Before Clyde could get that out, the 2 people appeared back on screen, but standing in slightly different positions. Don't that beat all, Clyde said. They popped out and back in, but they popped in different. What do you mean? The darker-haired dude was on the other guy's right, then came back in on his left. And now they got sodas. How the hell? Don't know. Beats the hell out of me. Keep that thing recording. How long can it go? Maybe 20 minutes or so. That's good. Hate to miss... Shut up. They're talking. Brother, do you realize what we have our hands on? Richard asked. A working time machine, that's what. If we weren't rich, I'd be heading back to Saturday for Powerball tickets. You have to think bigger, brother, much bigger. What have we dreamed about all these years? What have we been spending millions for? You mean buying all those politicians? You think this makes things better? The possibilities are endless. If anyone gets in our way, we can erase him from history. Go back and take out his parents, or take him out when he was young. We could change anything we want to in history and nobody would be the wiser. How do you figure? Think about it. If we went back 40 years and took out the president when he was a child, by the time we got back, someone else would be president, and we would be the only ones who knew better. Nobody else would even know he existed. Why would I want to do that? I like him. So do I, just making a point. That's the power we have. We can change anything and nobody will ever know. We can reshape America. Yes, we can, and it needs reshaping. America is sick, brother, and we have the ability to heal her. We have the ability to change anything we want to make America however we want. If we mess something up, we can always go back and try something different. It's like playing a video game and going back to a previous save to try something else. You have obviously given this more thought than I have. What do you think I did on the flight here? We have power, Alan, more power than anyone in history has ever had. We can be like gods. Isn't that pushing it a bit? Not really. If we know what buttons to push, we can change history. We can go back and make changes to make today a better world. Think about all the evil America is responsible for. We can erase it. How do you suppose we do that? There's slavery, the way the Native Americans were treated. How do you think you can erase that? It would be easier to start with more recent events. How about Iraq? You take out Bush and maybe we don't go there. You take him out as a child and he never becomes president. That would make my day, sure, but what if we end up with some other Republican who still sends us to war? Then what have we changed? We could take out Saddam. What if some other similar guy takes his place? Well, this is a lot of power we have. For starters, we take out anyone who doesn't toe the line. We can shape the government the way we want. It might take some trial and error, but we have the time. What if America is too sick to save? What are you saying, Alan? You're always going on about all the evil America has done. It might be too hard to fix, no matter how many things you change. Maybe we should focus on another part of the world. Build someone else up to take America's place. Or what if America never existed? Come again? What if America never existed? What if instead of trying to remove certain people to make America better, what if we could remove America to make the world better? Do you think the world would be better? It would be better for the Native Americans and the blacks for starters. Maybe for the Arabs as well. The Middle East would be better off without us meddling all the time. I'm beginning to see your point. How could you not see it? America was founded on oppression. All that talk you hear about all men created equal, all patriotic crap. The founders owned slaves. This country was built on the backs of slaves and the oppression of the natives. It's been evil from the start. The only people who can't see that are all those red state inbred rednecks. How do you suppose you remove America from history? Give the Brits machine guns? Oh no, brother, easier than that. The revolution would have to fail unless you prevent it from happening. Even if you remove the founding fathers, the move of the colonists was still pretty volatile. The revolution would still happen most likely. How do you kill a snake? Cut off the head? Precisely. And who is the head? Come on, Alan, don't you pay attention in history class? Who fought the fight when all seemed lost? Who held the Continental Army together in spite of loss after loss? Who came back after the war was over to oversee the drafting of the Constitution? What one man was responsible for the founding of America more than anyone else? Richard opened his wallet and withdrew a $1 bill. Holding it up for Allen to see, he said, This man is the head of the snake. You think without Washington the country would not exist? Most likely, brother. The revolution would still happen either way. But without him, it probably fails, even if it succeeds. Without his post-war influence, the colonies might never become one nation. Most of our system of government, or a whole lot of it, was his idea. The states might have remained individual states. If North America was a collection of smaller states, it would never be the evil empire it is today. So how do you suppose we take out George Washington? He probably had pretty good security. You don't wait till he's grown up, idiot. You take him early, before anyone knows who he is. You never give him a chance to grow up. You want to take him out as a baby or something? Precisely. Earl, please tell me you got all that. Looks like it's still recording. You believe any of that? Don't know how you explain them vanishing and coming back. I can replay the recording on my computer. Let's do that. They replayed the recording and still sat there shaking their heads. It was all there, and there was no disputing the two men vanishing and reappearing on the screen a second later. Clyde, if that's real, how do we stop them? Take this to the police. You think the cops are going to believe that? A time machine? They'll think we faked it like those Bigfoot people. You think they're all fake? You don't? Who knows? Good Lord, if that's real and they go back and do that, no more America. Think on that for a sec. I know this country has done some bad things, but what country hasn't? Hell yeah, brother, best country in the world. Like your sister. She's ugly as mud, but you still love her. She's still prettier than your mom. Well, she's younger. Hey, my sister, your mom, the neighbor girl, Marlene. You know what I'd do if some moron threatened any of them? Same thing I'd do. Damn right, you know what we gotta do. It's up to us, bro. America's counting on us. Hell yeah, let's roll. Well, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 3. If you did, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more chapters from this book and others. For more information about my other work, check out the links in the description below. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.